was up there in University Place. Like 2 minutes down the road, I pull in the Safeway. Big ass Larry, probably 300 pounds, working in produce with his little vest on. I walk to him, Larry Nelson. He's like, oh, Jake. Give each other a hug. I said, hey, man. I said, how come y'all would beat me up as a freshman? He said, your dad asked us to beat you up. I said, what? He said, yeah, man. He never told you? I said, no. I said, tell me. He said, man, he came up to school. He said, he was sitting out in the parking lot after practice one day. He pulled me to the side. He said, Larry, he said, I need you to beat Jake up every day until he fight back. I said, what? He goes, yeah, man. He said, just beat the shit out of him. He said, he just beat the shit out of him until he start fighting back. He says he's soft. He ain't tough. That's why he losing. So I'm in the produce section, Safeway, right up there on Bridgeport, Washington State, Tacoma. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm getting fucking destroyed at practice for 2 weeks. These dudes fucking me up. Got in my car, next stop, fucking Stilichon, Washington, my dad's house. Pull up at my house. My dad, he older now. He in his 70s. He ain't got that fucking edge and shit. I pull, hey, man. You had Larry and them guys beating me up in high school? I said, you know how fucked up that was? He said, that shit worked, didn't it? And I was just like, wow. I said, you know how bad they were fucking me up? He said, I don't care. I don't care. He said, look where you are now. He said, you were a soft ass freshman. He said, you ain't had no grit. You weren't had no toughness. He said, you had a good work ethic, but you were soft. He said, you ain't soft no more. Like, different way of upbringing.
Yeah. Did you ever forgive him for that? Dude, because I'm sitting here and I'm
like,
I don't know. Because we're both fathers now. And I'm like, man, that's some fucking special operation type.
That is, right? Like, but, like, I'm going to tell you, man. I'm not going to say that flipped a switch for me, okay? But I'm not going to say it didn't either, because right after that wrestling season is when I dedicated my life to winning a state title and not being, like, out of shape no more. I started running. I started lifting weights. Like, that was when I started lifting weights, because I was like, I'm weak. Like, all of that stuff. But I think the 15-9 record had more to do with it. But as I look back, I'm like, yeah, man, that had something to do with it. Because then I realized, like, you better fight to the death in the beginning, because you can't just let it go on. You get your butt beat for 2 weeks straight. You know what I'm saying? Black eyes, lips split, bleeding. Shit, I had big bruises. They would. I'll never forget this. They were holding me up and drop kicking me, like running. Larry Nelson sprinting 2 feet in my chest and trying to see how far they can make me fly. Like, it was crazy. But so I turned, boom, started, like, that's where I really kind of came of age. And then I got the letter of acceptance from the Naval Academy. That shit was in the back of the box. I started my sophomore year. I was playing football. I was still a nose guard little, but I was playing a little bit. I was on all the special teams. And then wrestling, I lost 5 matches. So my last regular season loss in high school came to Jeff Amick in the regular season. Crazy story. Like, I just think there's a lot of development that happens in athletics. It was tied 2-2, 8 seconds left. I said, man, I guess I'm going to tie this dude. Dude hit a switch. I lost 4-2. That's the last regular season wrestling match I lost in high school. Like, just another dagger in my heart to fuel me. Like, that loss fueled me for the next 30 years.
So now, how did you... Because it takes a different mindset. Because a lot of people, especially in the space that we're in now, speaking to guys that want to go towards special operation, buds, SFAS.
Yep.
When they fail, they get defeated as opposed to motivated. Like,
yep.
How did you learn at such an early age that, hey, instead of letting this defeat me, I'm going to let it empower me to get better?
So I have been ultra competitive since I was a young kid. I got 3 kids. All 3 of my kids are ultra competitive, right? And I just think that like you either a winner or you're a loser. And so I don't think there was any like. I mean, I'll take some bad L's, right? Like I've taken some bad L's. Like I got my last fight loss was in 7th grade. I got destroyed by 2 brothers. Okay, I was winning. I was beating the crap out of one brother. Last thing I remember was the canvas Nike entering my vision. I woke up. I got stitches up my eye. I was not, like 2 black eyes. My one eye was swelled, completely shut. Dad said, go to school. Dad, can't go to school like this. He said, oh, yeah, you're going to school, son. You're going to lose in life, but we're not going to school. Like my dad imparted a lot of that wisdom on me, right? But I was never one to like, I didn't win a state title. I was good enough my sophomore year to win a state title. I wasn't working hard enough in the wrestling room. The room I was in wasn't good enough to win a state title. I was good enough as a sophomore, junior, same thing. Senior year, I went with Greg Ford. I was Greg Ford the world, Timberline High School, losing 14 pounds of practice. Rolling the state tournament, I win 3 matches by one point. Win a state title, right? Like, I wasn't set up for success. I didn't understand how important the environment I was in, right? But when you talk about like just looking at them losses and defeats, like I don't like to lose, Jay. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, like losing to me is the worst thing in the world. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a major loss. I'm gonna talk about a little bit more, and then I'm gonna get to this major loss at the Naval Academy. So, my sophomore year, I got accepted to West Point, and they sent me the whole admissions package. I was like, damn, maybe this letter from the Naval Academy is real. So I called the Naval Academy. Long story short, I had got admitted. I was the 3rd person in the class of 94. It was crazy, whatever. So I got admitted to 3 colleges in my sophomore year of high school. And the thing was, like, at that point, I knew I was going in the military. Like, there wasn't no question. I wasn't trying to do nothing else. I was going to be Army Ranger Green Beret. And at that time, Top Gun came out. I would go fly planes, right? Like, I had flown as a kid a little bit. I was going to go fly planes. So, fast forward, I had lost my senior year. I mean, my sophomore and junior year in states.